I'm really sweating. Huh. Okay, so the card of the day is Eight of Wind. This is no coincidence, because this Eight of Wind card, you notice the three bands here? This Eight of Wind card is telling you to stop holding on to the old. And let me read from the book. That Eight of Wind is telling you, and wind is all about thoughts, by the way, because that is what's keeping us trapped. Eight of Wind is telling you it's time to let go. You're holding on to the past. You're holding on to all the shit that happened in the past. Of course, that's not in the book. You're holding on to all the shit that happened in the past because. All right, so you were hurt. You're not the only person who was hurt. All right, so you had a catastrophe, a disaster in your life. You are not the only person that had that. And let me be real here. There are many more people than you who had worse than what happened to you. Don't be a martyr about it. Embrace the pain, and then it will free you. I'm not kidding. You may be feeling stuck. You're feeling restricted. You're feeling imprisoned by the false beliefs and the hurts and the pains that you are still holding on to, that were inflicted on you by other people. Let me tell you all something. You don't have to live by other people's rules. Not at all. It is time to let go of that. You have to inspect your own inner garden. You have to look at the words that you use constantly that are limiting you. And not only that, they are limiting your imagination. What healthy seeds are you planting, ladies and gentlemen, that are and will stretch you towards the sky? How do you restrict yourself from thriving? This is the problem. This is the problem. You are holding on to what no longer serves you. And listen, I have to wipe my face again. And listen, I had these cards sunning to make sure that they were clear. And just as I was going to sort them, this card literally popped out just like that. And when that happens, I use the Dream Dust Shamanic Tarot Deck. When that happens, that's the card to be read. So every day, probably not on the weekends unless I feel urged, every day I will do a card of the day. If any of the message that I just spoke about in the card resonates with you, just drop in an emoji or write truth or something like that. It's important to understand, ladies, you have to look at the words that you keep saying to yourself. I'm gonna die. That's a terrible statement to make. All right? When something happens. Or, you know, life sucks. This is for shit. I used to have a cup that said that. I got rid of it. Or, this is a disaster when something happens. You have to change those words. You have to turn the negative words that you're using around. You have to turn them around to make them positive. It is really and truly essential for your well-being.